Django, guys. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I mean, for some people, it's probably good evening. This is my sweet dog Django. He wants to be in the video. So today I'm going to talk about how I went from rich to poor. I mean, it depends on how you see rich and poor, because some people believe you are rich by heart and not with money. I kind of believe that too, even though, I mean, money is not, for me, it's not important really. It's not the most important, but you need it to survive. And when you don't have enough, it becomes quite stressful. So I got divorced a few years ago after being married to my ex-husband for 5 years. So I would like to tell you that story today, and maybe hopefully you can learn something from it. I think it's important to talk about these things and like to help empower each other, because it's a thing, obviously. I think especially nowadays, now more and more people are divorcing. I think it's good to see like how we cannot all divorce anymore. I mean, I'm adding to the story, don't get me wrong, because I got divorced. So here is my story. So I got married when I was 22. I just turned 22. I met my husband when I was 19 in the church. I didn't grow up religious. That's a story for another time. I know I keep saying that, but I did not grow up religious, but I became a Christian at the age of 19. So when I went to this church, I met my husband, my ex-husband now, and we started off as friends, and then later that relationship grew into to dating, and later, way too soon, marriage. So when I met my ex-husband, I was 19. I was very insecure. I always felt like I was less worthy than others. Even though I was a good girl, I was not into drugs or partying or anything. As a teenager, I had an eating disorder, and I still have my eating disorder when I met my ex-husband. And this, I don't know if any of you knows anything about eating disorders. I will tell you my story another day. But you really struggle with your self-image, and so later when he told me that he actually liked me, I really could not believe it. I was like, why does someone like you like me? Before, I used to date sometimes, like boys, as a teenager. Even though they have gotten like serious as well. I mean, I never lived together with any of them before, but I have always been this like helplessly romantic woman who thinks every person she's dating she will have kids with, have a future with, stay with forever. My parents have been together for 33 years. So whenever I was looking at them, I was like, I want the same for my kids. I want the same for my own future. And so this was what I was hoping for in every relationship that I was in. But what I forgot was that they did not have the same experience as me. So they probably thought different about dating. But so my ex-husband, when him and I just met, we went to youth group together, even though he's 7 years older than I am. And then every Monday we used to come together at one of our friends' houses to do like a Bible study. And after I was dealing with like some personal issues, I didn't go there that much anymore. And he called me and he said that he was missing me. And I was flattered, and I mean, I didn't feel that attracted to him, but I loved our connection. And later, as I started loving him more, my attraction to him grew as well. That's something for me. Like, of course, appearance is important, of course, but for me, the heart has always been more important. So how someone is like, how I can talk to someone, and then automatically I find that person more attractive. And I'm sure it's for a lot of others as well. Um, so we started dating after I knew him for like 2 years, and then he actually said quite quick that he wanted to get married to me, and I said, oh wait, listen, I'm 20. I was 21, I think. I just turned 21 at this point. None of my family, my cousins, like in my generation, has been married, and I'm the youngest. I mean, I had two younger sisters as well, but I am the youngest of like, I have 6 above me. So, and they are like, one of them is, the oldest is 9 years older than I am. So I was like, oh, I cannot be the first of like all of my cousins to get married. And I was just thinking about, how does my family like think? Like, what will their opinion be like when I get married at such a young age? He asked permission to my father, which I found very flattering. My dad has always been a good dad, and he said, well, you can marry my daughter, but my honest opinion is that it's too soon. You and her have not dated for this long. She's still very young. She's studying. I don't want her to quit her studies, which is very important in my family. We all go to university. We all go to college. We, we get real 9-to-5 jobs. It's all that's very important, like status, money, that's very important within my family. I mean, that I have a different opinion about it now, that's aside, but at this time, that's everything I ever known, because that was my world when I was younger. So so we started dating. He asked permission from my father. He asked me to, he proposed to me on my birthday when I just turned 22, which I hated because I didn't have that much like requirements as it says. I mean, I was a girl, like girls have requirements when it comes to proposing. So, but I had asked him not to propose to me on my birthday, because my friend just got proposed to on her birthday, and I was like, I want something special for me, not like another birthday proposal. And I didn't need like an expensive like proposal or something. I just thought maybe like a romantic picnic at the beach on sunset, something like that. But for him, those things weren't important, so he never he didn't care about the things that were important to me, and I found out too late, because I was too young and too naive and too romantic. So we got married in the backyard. It was very cute. So we actually had two marriages. We had 2 weddings, I mean. We had one in the backyard by law, and then for church we had my absolute dream wedding in my parents' backyard. My parents have a very big backyard. They even have horses in it. It's like a big field, and it was always my dream to get married there, because I had seen one of my neighbors, her daughter did the same in her garden, and I attended, and I thought it was the most beautiful wedding I had ever been to. They were like outdoorsy with beautiful flowers, and just with like freedom, with birdies around. This, I don't know if you hear the birdies here, but I also have a lot of birdies in here, like around me. So I would like to create, because my garden is very little, to put like a special tree for them, and have like 2 walls like full of like flowers, plants, and little birdie houses, so they can live there, so they can have fun there as well. Even though we have a lot of trees here on the side where they can do that as well, but I just love to have them in my garden. Okay, but that aside. So the wedding was absolutely amazing. It was everything I ever dreamed of. And then came the marriage. Well, yeah, that was a little, you know, um, I don't know if you've ever heard of the five love languages. Well, mine is, when I was a little younger, it was quality time always. Now it's also physical touch. Uh, Apparently, it can change during the years, but I don't care about presents. I mean, I like it when you sometimes give me a present, like, a tiny present. You thought about me, but I don't care about like people giving me big expensive presents. For me, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't show me that you love me. When you show me that you love me, when you want to spend time with me, and when you listen to me, when we have good conversations, and when you show me that you care about the things that are important to me. Because I don't think I am that difficult. I really don't think I am that difficult of a woman. So he, at the time, we were both studying. So he was studying to become a doctor and a psychiatrist, and I knew he would make a lot of money, but for me that didn't really matter. Later he asked me, would you feel about if I would start by myself? I could make even more money. And I told him, well, listen, sweetie, I don't really care about the money. We can pay the bills, and I don't have to watch what I put in the cart in the grocery store. Like if I can buy this bread, yes or no. For me, that's most important. And as far as like the jobs, for me, I want you to be happy. I want you to feel fulfilled in your job. So whenever you work for yourself or you work for a boss, I don't mind about that. And I was very clear from the beginning. Like, I mean, he started to work for himself, and he worked so many hours, and like over 80, like a week, sometimes even 90, maybe 100 even. He was like always working. And I was also like busy because I was studying full time. Later on we moved to a big house, and like a villa, like a big house with a big swimming pool, a big garden. And I became a foster mom to doggies. My husband and I actually also wanted to become foster parents ourselves, so I also got a lot of stuff for kids already. And it was just, I always felt like he was looking down on me. And for me that hurt like a little. I mean, I could understand like from his, not even that. I couldn't even understand from his point, because you're a wife and husband team, and you're supposed to work together in life, and build that strong foundation for later, where you can build your family upon the kids, the dogs, everything. And he just did not really care about those things. So if I wanted to spend time with him, he was either too tired or he just didn't want to. And that hurt, because I was only in the beginning of my 20s, and we already started to live like brother and sister in the house. Intimate wise, we were intimate, but because I did not have that emotional connection, which I really need to feel attractive to someone, I did not really enjoy it that much. I mean, obviously I did it because I wanted to please my husband. I wanted to do everything that he wanted. But in the meantime, I was like collapsing myself. I was like, he was sucking every ounce of joy I had in my body out of me, like by not wanting to connect with his wife. And for me, it's important that you have friends. I always had friends, but the strongest connection should be with your partner. So you should be able to talk about your feelings, about your day with your partner, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of others are with me in this as well. So, I had so many conversations about this. I said, well, listen, sweetie, I appreciate you want to work a lot, like to provide for a family. And I love you as a person and as a being, obviously, because you're my husband. And but the way it goes for me right now, it's just not doable, because I feel very lonely. And that the time that you are at home, you're not at home either, because you are still working, or you are sleeping, or you are doing other things that don't involve me. And that's really hurtful, because that is my love language, that you want to spend time with me. And it's not that he had to spend time with me, like every minute. I am not like clinging to him when he went to the bathroom that I went with him. No, but just like at least 30 minutes a day, just to connect, just to ground, like after work, that we talk about the things that we went through that day. I think that's very important, like in a marriage. And so it got so worse. We went to relationship therapy. We've been to two different ones. And every time when we went, well, he already found it very difficult, because he said, well, I have to stop working for 2 hours, and then I have to go back to work. He found it all very difficult. So he did not really want to go. A lot of men don't want to go to relationship therapy. But he just did not want to go. And he went, but whenever he went, when we were done, he always said, well, the therapist always takes your side. And I was like, excuse me, the therapist takes my side? No, the therapist is not taking my side. And I especially picked an older man, because I knew that he would take more things from an older male than he would not take a female seriously, probably. I mean, he's even said that, I have to say this, but he grew up extremely religious, and their women are less, like, our women are worth less than males. And I grew up the opposite. Like, not that females are more important than males, but that you should be independent as a woman, that you should make your own money, that you should not depend on anyone. That's how my father raised my sisters and I. So I am independent, and I don't need a man. Not that I told him, because obviously I know that men want to feel like you need them. So obviously that's what I told. Emotionally, I needed him, of course. So it was so much stress that I actually got on burnout at the beginning of my 20s. It was not only because of my marriage, because it was so hurtful, but it was about, like, it was very for years and years I never stood still. So I mean, this is from like 8 years, since I was like 15, 14. It was stress from that time. And he did not want to take care of me. Like, for example, when I got very sick, like I I had a high fever, I had to throw up, it was literally coming out from all sides. I'm not going into detail, but he refused to get to the store to get me some fruits, for example, and the things when I ran out of groceries, because obviously I also did the whole household. He never helped me with household chores or things. I was like, even though I was also studying full time and even working in the beginning, but it was not doable anymore in the end, because whenever he came home, he treated it like a hotel, like a catering. He never cleaned something up. He never, he didn't do any. When I would not feed him, he would not eat. When I would not give him drinks, he would not drink. Well, after like years of struggling, because I fought for my marriage, I decided to give up. Even though we lived in a beautiful house, beautiful neighborhood, it was my dream home, honestly. It looked like I had my life together. For everyone else, I did not really talk to people about this. I often felt unsafe with him as well. With my ex-husband, I had that feeling. And then after years of struggling, I decided to divorce him. So I went from being rich, being with a rich husband, because he made a lot of money, like a lot. Like I'm not joking. To having nothing, And the also the divorce went awful. In the beginning, I thought we had everything like figured out, like because he asked me like, what do you want, and I only wanted like that I could pay off my student loans, because in the Netherlands where I'm from, the student loans are not at high. You even don't really need to go into debt if you don't want to. I didn't want that, but because we wanted to travel the world together, he encouraged me to lend full, to take the full loan. So it was actually also because of him, and we lived off of it together. Like I paid groceries from that, etc., for us together. So it was fair for me if at least I could get that back, because we had we had a lot of savings, and also to give me like a little bit of money, like to start off, because I was still studying. I was in the process of finishing up my studies. So I did not work at that moment, even though before I used to work, but since I was together, since I was married, it was too much. It was too much work, literally. So yeah, and then he took all of the money what we had together, and he basically like stole it from me, because it was our money together, and he said I could get my half back when I would come back to him. I said, well, listen, sweetie, for me it's not about money. Like, we have money, I can make money later on. For me, it's not, I will never stay with you because of money, because I'm not that kind of person. Like, I don't want to be with someone because of money. I want to be with someone because of love. And he never really understood that, and neither did people around me. Like, people were like shocked when I told them when they found out that I was divorcing my husband. They were like, what? Yeah, like but you have everything. You have a huge house, you have 5 cars, you have everything. I said, well, I have everything materialistic, but my heart is lonely, and I want more than just possessions, because that's not what life is about. Life is about making memories, about love, about having good connection with your lover, with your friends, with your family, with your pets, to be happy. And I was not happy. I had been very unhappy for years. And also in one sense, I felt like he had brainwashed me as well, because he was such a clever psychiatrist, and he's a very good one. So here I am now, a few years later. Yeah, so I moved to Spain now. I travel the world, what I always wanted to do. So I hope that I can still have that, that happy family. And I currently have a partner, so I'm hopeful to have kids with him later, to live together, because we don't live together yet. And to be that stable family for my partner, for my kids, and also for myself, for our pets as well, to be to be happy, to have a fulfilled life. Here's, by the way, my doggy here is very cute. He's been laying next to me the whole time. I just wanted to show you quick. Okay, well, loves, I hope you're all having a great day, and hopefully my story has inspired you in some kind of way. I really hope that by posting these videos, again, I hope you can see that life is not perfect, but that you can still get through it, and that it will all turn out to be fine in the end, because I believe that every problem has a solution, even when it is hard, or when you have to deal with difficult stuff. So, well, sweetie, stay safe, and I will talk to you later. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a good, lovely day. Bye bye.